Coordination, yeah. So again, start the red ball kids with agility, balance, coordination. We're gonna just do a few more. Hopefully, again, they all have short rackets, okay? If they show up with their dad's racket or mom's racket, hopefully you guys have some small rackets to give them. You know, you don't want the racket to be so heavy that they're having to hold it up here just to control it. But, and this is obviously also if you're in a small space with this many kids and full long rackets, it's a little dangerous. So danger control is a big part of the little kids. I'm just going to go through kind of like the preliminary things that would get you to all the things that we started to do with the, you know, the cross court down the line with the kids on a red ball court. That's exactly the same. But I'm going to back up and do about 10 minutes of progressions that would get you to that point. Does that make sense? Okay. So everybody one ball in their hand and their racket. And do we have both of these? Let's scoot over a little bit so you guys just have more space. Okay, so what these kids are learning how to be as little athletes, what they are not good at is tracking the ball. Tennis is about sending the ball and receiving the ball. So everything they need to learn how to do is watching the ball move, coming towards them and go away. Little kids are terrible at line calls. It's not because they have a sophisticated method of cheating at age 6, okay? And they're not inherently bad cheaters at 6. It's because they honestly track the ball horribly. They have no idea when the ball lands, whether it was in or out, okay? So just remember that when you're teaching that they really don't know, okay? So here we go. So we're gonna do some things to get better at handling the ball. Okay, so right off the bat, again, we're teaching them the correct grip here to the bottom, fingernails to the sky, ball in the middle, and walk. Everybody walk, go wherever you want. Okay, stop. Flip your racket the other way, knuckles to the sky, and these are just kind of some of my cue words. Because in tennis, you have to learn to hit the ball with both sides of your racket. Knuckles to the sky, same thing, walk. All right, freeze. Back to fingernails to the sky. We can learn how to do ups and downs, okay? But first, let's try this. Learning how to self-feed. Okay, I'm just gonna drop the ball onto my racket and catch. 5 times. I can guarantee you that they cannot do this. Okay? What they're learning here about the tennis racket and what you're teaching them after they've tried it is the ball goes where the racket face points. So if your racket face was like this when you toss the ball, you're not going to be able to catch it. So everyone try again, and I want you to really watch where your racket face is. If this is too easy, then you can do 2 hits and catch, or 3 hits and catch. But we're all getting used to the racket face controlling where the racket face is. If they're using the correct racket, they shouldn't be choked up at all.
So you can have them just full on all the way?
Yeah, if they're using the correct size racket. I mean, all these kids should be in a 19 or 21 inch racket. If any of you guys are working for Rob, if you need more of those rackets, we have some at our office. I would rather get them to you than, the worst thing is for a kid to come out with a 10.6 ounce racket from their dad's, okay? Okay, next, again. Yeah, we have a bunch. So again, I'm going to do about 15, 20 things really fast just so you get an idea. Okay, next thing, ball on the ground. Again, learning how to use both sides of the racket. So they're going to push the ball to one foot and push it back. Okay, what you will see instantly is this. If you guys heads up, you'll see this. Okay, so you as the coach are walking around correcting that because again, the point of this is learning to use both sides of the racket head, a racket face. Okay. Okay. What they're learning is in tennis, the racket head is down. Baseball, tennis. Okay. Jeremy, okay, so Jeremy's my lefty. If you end up doing any lines, I didn't talk about this, but let's say we happen to be feeding kids moving across this way. The lefty just goes with everybody else, and if everyone's doing a forehand, he's doing a backhand. It's really complicated to have most of the kids going this way and the lefty going the other way, okay? So the lefty just goes the same way as everybody else and they're just working on the opposite shot. Okay, so the next progression, Jeremy is gonna send me the ball, I'm gonna stop it and I'm gonna send it back on the ground. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna stop it, send it back. That's the only instruction at first. Okay, go for it. Okay, that's it. Next instruction is, when I recognize if the ball's coming to this side of my body or that side body, I'm gonna turn. Okay, so go ahead, send it to me. I'm gonna turn and stop it, send it back, he's gotta turn, and then I recover to the middle. Send it to me again. It's over here, I turn, send it back. Okay, so every time the ball comes, the first thing my brain is saying is this side of my body or that side of my body, and I turn. Okay, do it again. The next thing we're going to work on, sending it to me again, is making sure I'm stopping it out in front of me. And don't worry if they're stopping it with this, that's awkward, so they're always going to be stopping it this way. Okay, so here we go. Okay, now we're getting pretty good. We don't have to stop it. We're going to go back and forth to each other, but after we have to turn, return it, back to the middle, ready position. Send it, send it, send it. Here we go, turning, turning. Okay, they've learned about 10 important things for a forehand and backhand stroke already. They've learned body turns, rack ahead low, the ball's off the front foot, and the ball goes where you send it, okay? So if they're using their wrist at all, the ball's gonna be cattywampus and they can't, oh my gosh, I sound like my mom, cattywampus. But in order to be working with their partner, they've gotta have a firm wrist. So no wrist movement, okay? The next progression on this would be what we talked about earlier, cross court down the line. Jeremy, you and I are going cross court on your right-hand side right now. So it's gonna be, are you playing right-handed?
I right left-handed.
Oh, okay, so here we go. So he is a righty. So here we go, we're going only cross court, oh sorry, only cross courts. Here we go, cross court. Make sure it's turning. What I'm doing as the coach, as all the kids are doing this, is I'm walking around looking for the key points, right? I'm looking, you'll start seeing this. You'll start seeing this, you'll see this. On this one, Jeremy, what if we try and aim right between each other's legs? Okay? So what do you tell us? If the ball's coming between your legs, what do you need to do? Pick. Forehand or backhand, whatever you want. Okay? But not here. So I'm intentionally aiming between his legs and he's aiming between my legs. Ready? Go. Okay? So that they're learning how to quickly react. So we've done cross courts, we've done down the lines, okay? Same thing that we were doing down there. I'm cross court, you're down the line. Okay, here we go. Cross court. Have him call it out. I'm cross court, he's down the line. Cross court. Cross court. Okay? So that they are already learning to control the ball. Everything's under, and tell the ball where to go.
So are you focused on that to make sure they're out in front, or just wherever they get, I mean, just as long as you're not back?
Yeah, the contact point should be the front foot.
Okay.
Yeah, so as the pro, that's what you're looking for. You're walking around looking for body turned, contact and point in front. The ball, no big backswing back here. Okay, so that's, again, there's an expression that when you're standing behind a basket feeding, that's called pro feed. When you have them all partnered doing something and you're walking around, that's called pro freed, okay? With this many kids, you need to be pro freed. There's gonna be some times where you really need to work on strokes, and so with a little, you'll toss, but the less you can toss and the less you can feed them when you have a big group, the better, okay? All right, so now everybody with their own ball. I'm not gonna have you partner and demonstrate all these just so we can keep it moving, okay? So now we need to learn how to self-feed so that we can play with each other. Oh, do you need a ball, Jeremy? Oh, sorry, okay. Okay, so here we go, grip at the bottom. So we've practiced bouncing and catching. So now we're gonna practice we're going to toss the ball to the ground, bounce, hit, catch. Okay, everybody, 5 times. Toss, bounce, hit, catch. Have the kids say it so that they get the rhythm of it. Okay, so everybody should be saying it. Toss, bounce, hit, catch.
This is very hard.
Yeah.
This is very difficult.
Okay, so again, you guys can do it, but this is what it looks like with the little kids. That, or this is real, a lot. You get a lot of this. Okay, so again, everything you do is also trying to teach them cooperation, coordination, all these C words. Control. Nothing is about power. You've got to beat the power out of them pretty fast for anything to work. Okay, so we just had the toss, bounce, hit, catch. Okay, the next is now what we call the self-rally. Okay, can you just keep it going? Bounce, hit, bounce, hit, bounce, hit. Everybody do it. Go 10 times if you can. See if you can keep it going. Okay, as I always do, the first time I give you very little instructions other than just the concept. Bounce, hit, keep it going. Okay, but now I need to see good stuff happening out there. So now when you're doing your self-rally, I need to see your body turning. So I don't want to see this. Okay, so what it should look like now, if they can do this, is each time they're turning, turning, turning. So that they're never standing with their feet like this and going like that. Okay, so again, with yourself, all 4 hands right now.
So if you teach them even just to hold their hand up, they're non-dominant, rather than just let it flop around, just try to.
Yeah, gives them good rhythm. It's great.
Even though they're not necessarily really doing it, it just gives them balance.
Yeah, that's a great. You guys, was it Mark? Is that right? Mark pointed out, and I kind of did it naturally, but pointing out to them that if you use your non-dominant hand kind of out in front, it kind of keeps you nice and balanced. So this arm.
Used to when they use that.
Yeah.
We teach them a piece of slice.
The arm. Yeah. Okay, so now same idea, and again, they might not be able to get to this. You might be like, ooh, that's as far as we can go. Okay, but again, going on with progressions. Self-rally, forehand and backhand. So I go a forehand, and then a backhand, and a forehand, and a backhand. So I have to get around the ball each time, and I have to be turning sideways. Okay, ready? Go for it. Forehands and backhands.
Sorry.
Yeah.
With this age group, do you teach them the grip, the different grips, or do you just kind of have them hold the racket?
Yeah, you wouldn't go ahead and give them the Eastern grip.
I mean,
Yeah.
But like you don't do continental or move it or.
For the serve, if they're serving overhead, I would yeah.
Serve? Okay.
Yeah, but they might not be serving overhead, they might be serving underhand.
Okay.
Okay, hold up. She had a good question of grips. What you'll see, even if you tell the kids here on their forehand grip, as soon as you start doing any of these drills, you're gonna walk around and see this. Okay, and they're just gonna be doing this with the grip. Make sure you are correcting grips, okay? You wanna make sure that they're in the Eastern grip. This knuckle's on top of here for the forehand. Now, I'm not teaching them to switch their grip to the backhand on this, it's too quick. But don't let them hang out here, okay? All right, so we're gonna do a couple more little drills that are really fun.
Last one. Just keep the same Eastern grip.
Yeah.
Just here, just like volley.
Yeah, 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 okay. All right, who can I pick on? Tell me your name. Emmy?
Yeah.
Okay, Emmy, this is my favorite thing. You get to hold 2 rackets. Okay, this is called lobster catch. So I'm gonna toss you the ball. We've learned how to do the rainbow toss to each other already, like I showed you guys back there. So I'm gonna toss you the ball, it's gonna bounce, and then you're gonna catch it between the 2 rackets. Okay, ready? Bounce, catch. Perfect, send it back to me. Perfect. Again, bounce, catch. Perfect, good. So the first time, again, I'm letting her figure out what she's trying to do. That was the only instruction I gave her, was just catch it, okay? Now, same idea, but now you have to catch it on one side of your body or the other, okay? So you can't catch it between. So here, I'll try and toss it to one side or the other. So here we go, bounce, catch. Good, and send it back. Okay, again, bounce, catch, and send it back. Okay, good. Adding on to that. Now, once you catch it on one side, I want you to throw it back from that side. Don't come back to the middle and throw it back. Okay, so here we go. Bounce, catch. Good. What if I give you the other side? Bounce, catch. And send it back. We'll do it again, 2 more. Backhand. Bounce, catch. Send it back. Good. What 2 strokes has she just learned? Good. So she's learned with these big rackets in her hand. And the reason it's called lobster catch is because your arms kind of look like lobsters with these big things. So she's learned trunk turn, step, rotate the trunk back. Okay, so she's learned a lot of really critical elements of the stroke. So with a partner, give one person 6 tosses and then the other person. So I'm not go. Okay, hold on. We didn't do this with a big group. Ready? Toe to toe with someone born the same month as you. Okay? So you got to shout out your birthday month. Toe to toe.
Nobody has February?
February. Jeremy, what are you again? You're August? All right. Okay. We'll put you guys together. What month are you? April? Any Aprils?
Half birthday.
Okay, that's right. You guys are together.
All right, well, 6 months.
Are there 3 of you? You guys are together? Okay. Spread out. Spread out and do lobster catch, okay? Pretend you're already at the point where you're turning, rotating. You got it. And again, as an instructor, I'm going to say 3 things, you would say 1, okay? You never correct 3 things at the same time. You give everybody 1 thing to work on, maybe another thing in a minute, but your brain can't correct 3 things at once, okay? I saw a lot of, I'm visualizing different things. So I saw steps going this way, and I want you to have enough steps so that you step forward. So if you have to take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps before you step forward, that's okay. So we're going to do it again, and now I want you to take at least 3, 4 steps before you trap the ball. Okay, so do 4 tosses and then switch. Everyone's got to be like 3, 4 steps, and then forward. And the steps are getting your body in position so that you're always stepping forward for the ball. Okay, so here we go again. 4 tosses and then switch. And this is not easy for them. Yeah, come in a little closer just real quick so I'm not super loud for them. Okay, very quickly the kids are gonna say, when are we playing real tennis? Okay, and that means to them, when do we hit the ball over the net? Okay, and I'm always like, you are playing real tennis, and you're playing with a real tennis ball. It's a real red tennis ball. Make sure you're never saying the real ball, meaning the yellow ball. This is the real ball for kids this age. And the orange ball is the real ball for 7 and 8-year-olds, okay? So they are gonna, and again, we're doing like 25 progressions in 9 minutes or less, okay? But they always want to hit the ball over the net. But they can't do that until they've understood the concept of partnership and giving each other good feeds, okay? So the next progression, we did it back there, was just the toss and hit it back to your partner, okay? So we're not gonna do that because we already did that down there. But when you're ready to go over the net, why don't you head over to the other side? Yeah, so just so you know, the USTA and the US APA, which is the Pickleball Association, are coming together now to work more cooperatively. And the first thing that's probably gonna be suggested coming out of their cooperation is that red ball tennis be taught on pickleball courts. Because they're everywhere and it's perfect. So, okay, so what I want you to do is just practice tossing me with your non-dominant hand, the ball. Now we're going over the net and I'm practicing sending it back to you. Just toss and catch. So, but we can't do this until we've done it close to each other, just practicing tossing. The tossing is really hard for the kids. They almost always do this and they're having to do it with their non-dominant hand. So that's the next progression. Then if we've gotten pretty far, go ahead and toss, and now we can play. Toss, hit, toss, hit. And with this court, you know, I can say try and keep the ball bouncing in the green. This is actually a really awesome line to practice. Now I just did something horrible. What was the horrible thing I did right there? And I was like, woo, right here, okay? The things that you really want to be working with those kids is learning off day one Every stroke needs a turn, okay? If we've gotten a little better, we can scoop back. And now, same thing, but every time we hit, turn, recover, turn, recover. As far as the backhand, it's okay if they're just doing it one-handed. They'll probably do two, but make sure that the kids aren't switching. You know, the forehand should always just be with one hand. Even if they're little, don't let them hit the two-handed forehand. They want to do one. Yeah, they can choke up a little if they're a big racket. Yeah.
So I teach every Saturday. How many Saturdays do you think, I know this is general, but before they could actually start hitting over the net? Like maybe the third
10?
Saturday?
10?
10 Saturdays?
I think it's 10 weeks before they can have any rally that goes past 2 hits. What do you think? Yeah, about 10?
With each other, for sure. With
Yeah.
you, maybe after a couple weeks, because you can control it. And
Yeah.
you can get balls that are crazy, but with 2 kids together,
And it depends on age too.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about just really quick volley progression with these kids. This is one of the times where I would probably feed because I don't really want, if I'm a 7-year-old boy or a 6-year-old and come on up to net, like a volleyer, and I'm going to toss, the first thing she's going to do is take my head off. Okay, so I would feed for the little kids. Let me just show you real quick what feeding should look like when you've got this many kids. So give me 6 kids over here. Ah, sorry. Okay, so I have 6. So what I'm going to do is make 2 lines of 3. And I'll have to physically go over there and put you in your place because that's very difficult. Sorry, I did that wrong. 3 lines of 2. Yeah, 3 lines. Let's go 3 lines of 2. 1 over there, 1 on the line, 1 there, and then your partner. And if you have dots, that's great because the next person in line has got to be 10 feet back. And then you guys can take 1 step forward. The key on teaching them where to stand is touch the net and 1 step back. So they should actually be inside the kitchen line if you're on these courts. Okay. The progression on teaching the volley for the kids. The first time they're just learning how to high five the ball. So I just walk around, high five, high five, high five. Good. I don't talk about their feet. They just got to high five it. So if I'm going to toss a few balls, I put my racket down. You're going to get 2 balls each, you guys. Here we go. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And switch. I'm not talking about their feet at all. Go ahead and get a little closer, you guys. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, okay? No corrections, just a lot of balls. All right? Group corrections. Now, after we've just gotten the idea of the ball's coming at my face and it's kind of scary and I'm learning how to hit it, now I can add some feet. Then I add the stepping with the foot, okay? The next progression is learning how to go a forehand, a backhand, all right? The next progression is what I call mystery ball. You're going to get 3 balls on your turn, but you don't know if it's a forehand or a backhand. Are you lefty? Okay, here we go, ready? So you don't know, so I'm going to go rapid fire 3 balls at you. Okay, here we go, ready? 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. 1, woo, 2, 3. Good. Okay, see how fast I'm feeding those? What makes me blow my brains out is when I watch a lesson and you see the pro go, okay, here we go. Okay, I want you to fix your grip. I want you to do all this. Okay, 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 okay. Here you go, 1. Okay, that was pretty good, but next time can you do this? Okay, so I've got 5 people hanging out doing nothing. All right. The next progression I do of mystery ball is this. Okay, you guys are all up. You don't know where it's going or who it's going to. Actually, you guys switch. We'll put the other 3 up. And also, I never give the kids more than 2 or 3 balls. I don't ever want the people waiting more than maybe a minute at most. Okay, ready? So I've got 6 balls in my hands. I could toss with either hand. Could go to either of you. You might get 2 or 3 in a row. Ready? I could look at you and toss to her. Okay, and here we go. Good. Okay. See how fast I'm tossing there? One more time. And mystery ball. Good. Okay. So that they're not waiting very long. Let's go ahead and get the balls up real quick. But the quickest way to teach how to serve is you've got to learn how to throw the ball. So everybody over here, we're gonna, I want you just to, Gregory's over there. You're gonna skip this part of the progression. So, and then, yeah, that's down. So I'm just gonna practice, back down. So we're just gonna practice throwing the ball to each other. Okay. So I'm gonna throw it back. Again, no instructions other than that on the first couple turns. Let them just figure it out. So what you'll see at first is you'll see this, and then they self-correct. They learn how to do it over the net. So on the serve, this is the serve. What my arm is doing is exactly what the racket does. And one of the key points of that, what we're doing automatically, which kids probably have to be taught, is we turn sideways, elbows back and high, and we're throwing the ball up. Not to be sexist against my own sex, but if you've heard the expression, you throw like a girl, what does that mean? What's wrong with the throw? When people go, oh, you throw like a girl. Which should never be said anymore. But you just did it. It's not the turn, it's the elbow. If the elbow has drifted forward, okay, very hard to get the ball to go anywhere. So right off the bat, make sure that, again, don't say that don't throw the girl apart, but teaching them to elbow back. Okay? So if you can throw the ball over like that, that's a serve. The next progression on that, go ahead and grab the racket, is stand in the correct position. I've got to learn how to toss the ball. I probably haven't learned how to toss up against the fence first, but I learn how to toss, reach, I scoot back, this perfectly scoot back.
And give these kids their head about reaches the net. So.
And they're having to learn that. So when you serve, are you hitting the ball down or up?
Up.
Up. Unless you're a certain height. At a certain height, you're tall enough to hit down on the ball. What's the height?
6'7".
You put the right thing to his heart. 6'7". If you are shorter than 6'7", you must hit up on the ball. Gravity pulls it down. So these kids, once I've done it kind of close, so I can scoot back a little bit. Same thing, up on the ball, legs coming up. So this is really cooperative again. It's better than just having a basket at the baseline where they just go and don't think. Because they know pretty quickly whether it's working, because whether they can hit it to their partner or not. Don't worry that it's cross-court, doesn't matter. Okay? As we scoot back, maybe once we're here, we can do all the motion. Doesn't matter. I usually teach the kids to break it into parts. Rack it back, toss, hit. So we don't worry about them going cross court at all. Yeah. Okay. I mean, once they can do this, then we can go cross court. But initially, cross court just means balls everywhere. Okay. Then again, like I said, a progression on this would be grab. We're going to return it. So I'm going to hit. I'm going to return. Okay.
That's what it looks like too.
Yeah, he's going to have huge cups on that return. So then we can add, so we would just practice that, serve and return. And even for the kids to practice catching it like this, because they just got to practice watching that ball. Then we would do, like I said, serve, return, +1. So I go serve, return, +1, and now he's the server. Okay, so that way everybody's playing, and again there's a focus. But starting with the throwing is a really important way to start the serve for the kids. Because they've got to learn that slow, accelerate up. So that's kind of it. But the progression, I mean, that's not it, but that's what we're going to cover today. But again, break it down, always partnership, always under control, and always everything has a specific goal instead of just whacking the ball. That's why I never just stand here and feed and tell you guys to hit. Because then the balls go against the back fence. The goal is to get them to be able to rally. You want to, how many of you guys play pickleball? Okay. Why is pickleball so appealing to the masses right now?
It's easy to control the ball.
It's easy. Almost anybody can do it really quickly. Okay? Tennis on this side court should be the same thing. But it's not the same thing if you have them stand at the baseline and they just swing. Okay? It's gotta be this progressive partnership working back under control thing. So again, so when you're on the small court, no big backswings. Okay? It's all about contact points with these kids. When you get far enough back here, maybe now I can do a little bit of a backswing and forward. Okay? But I'm not really going to be whipping that ball. I'd rather that ball go back and forth 8 times, than another ball pulling, pass again. Okay? So, all right, any questions? Like I said, I know that's...
How many skills like forehand, backhand, volley serve? How many should you realistically do during like one lesson?
How long is your lesson? An hour?
An hour.
Okay, so the way I would do an hour lesson would be this. So they come out, I do 2 sets of 30 minutes. So ABC to warm them up, some sort of hand-eye skill, or ball tracking skill. I didn't do this, but a really fun one is someone up here is rolling a ball across the court and everyone back there is trying to roll a ball and hit it. The idea of 2 things colliding. So ABC, any kind of hand-eye racket skill, tracking skill. Another that's like 5 minutes.
Cones too, you could use like catch the ball in the cone.
Yeah, or put the cones out, they have to roll the ball to hit a cone. So anything where they're learning how to track the ball and in the racket. So that's another 5-10 minutes. And then some sort of progression skill. So maybe it's 4 hands a day, so 3 or 4 progressions and end with some sort of progressive game, like we were talking about, cooperative game. So that's your 30 minutes. Another ABC to clean out their brain. Same thing, another racket skill, and then maybe it's volleys. And then, then we get 55 minutes, you have 5 minutes left, big group game. So if you break it down into that, 2 sets of 30, and inside that 30 there's 3 or 4 things that you always do, then you're not doing anything more than 3 or 4 minutes, which is my attention span and their attention span, okay? Like the worst thing you can do, like I said, is like I'll do forehands, you do backhands, and I've got the kids for 30 minutes and we're just competing. Everything's 2 or 3 minutes. So, and I think for you guys it's more fun too, and it just keeps you going. When you break it down into all those little parts, it's a lot easier mentally to make the hour happen. Someone else had a question? Any other question?
So we have a lot of good resources that we'll send you that has lots of different drill ideas and even lesson plans. It's right from the Red Ball handbook. One other big thing that I wanted to address, probably the most important part, that is energy. Energy. You can't go out, all right, okay, now we're gonna play lobster catch. It's gotta be the funnest thing you've ever had. Like the greatest idea. It's like, all right, everybody, come on, we're gonna play lobster catch, it's gonna be awesome. And the kids are like, okay, yeah. Like, right? You gotta be having the most fun on the court, and they will feed off of that, right? If you're quiet, even if that's your personality, you gotta fake it for an hour.
Yeah, you're on stage.
Yeah. You gotta be loud, you gotta control the room, otherwise these kids will walk all over you, right? It's like, hey, no, Johnny, don't do that. Okay, you're like, hey, everyone, come in, we're gonna play again! Like, you gotta be excited, you gotta have a good time, it's gotta be really fun, and they will feed off of that, and they'll leave like, oh, that was awesome!
Along those lines, I was teaching at Park City a women's clinic, and on the bank of courts behind us was one of my junior college-age pros teaching a bunch of kids. And one of the women came up to me and said, he's being really loud. Can you go talk to him? And I was like, you know what? Absolutely. And so I go to the backside. I'm like, Blake, you're being really loud. Awesome! Good job! He came back. So yeah, they should be really loud. You guys should be really loud.
Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
But just like have like, oh, this is gonna be like some good, and just like this was cool. Like somehow
yeah. And I think half the fun for you guys is having a plan as opposed to like coming at me like I got an hour to kill, or what am I doing? You know, that it's hard to have fun when you're looking at your watch every 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm prepared, and then attitude is everything. Like, red ball's literally my favorite class to teach, but some people hate it. And I think a lot of starts with the attitude. They're like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like, have a lot of energy, have a lot of fun, they'll feed off of that, and it's a party for me.
Yeah. So so anyways, that's it. Thanks you guys. And yeah, good luck when you start.
Next Saturday.
Yeah, thanks. Week from now.
So these kids, this is the first experience they've ever had with tennis. So,
Some
of
are
them,
returning, but a lot of them
a
would be,
lot of them,
would be brand
which
new.
means if they continue or not. So
Yeah.
I live in Park City and we have neat snow, so I hope you're snowed out next Saturday. I've got a ton of family coming in. I'm like, please let it snow between now and then. But you guys can